Okay, my dear students, today we are going to complete with the affixes. We have started with inflectional affixes, and I told you that there are two kinds of affixes. We have inflectional affixes and derivational affixes. So before starting with the derivational affixes, let's make a quick revision about the inflectional affixes. What is meant by inflectional affixes, and how many kinds of inflectional affixes do we have, and what are the characteristics of these this kind of affixes? Yes, please know what is the definition of inflectional affix.
Inflectional affix expresses grammatical contrast, is multiplicatory of the stream word class in some given grammatical context. Number 2 doesn't change the word class of the stream. Number 3 directly located further from its root. Number 4 produces predictable non-adiabatic change of meaning.
Very good. So, an inflectional affix is the affix that expresses a grammatical contrast that is obligatory. Why it is obligatory? Because when we want to construct a sentence, when we want to utter a sentence, we have to make such a kind of agreement, such a kind of concord between the subject and the verb. For example, if the subject is a plural, there is no need to add the s of the third person to the verb. But if the subject is singular, he, she, it, and we're talking about the present symbol, so we need to add the s of the third person. Okay? So how many kinds of first of all, what about the number? How many inflectional affixes we have in English? Yes, Zainab.
There are 9. Number 1, as, be out, noun plural. Example, dogs. 2, s, cg, bs, noun singular positive. Example, boys. 3, c, be out, bs. تعني noun plural positive. Example, boys أو men's. Number 4 S3D present third person singular معناها مؤنث. Number 5 INGVD تعني present participle معناها discussing. 6 DBT معناها past tense. Example
Past tense, not past tennis.
past tense.
Yes.
Example rod. Number 7 DBB معناها past participle. Example 18 8 ARCB معناها comparative. Example near comparative. Example not. 9 AST superlative. Example sounds out border.
Very good. So guys, when we talk about these kinds of morphemic symbols concerning the inflectional affixes, you have to put in your mind that we have two kinds of verbs. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. So the morphemic symbol, for example, that is talking about the D of the past tense, when we add ed to the past tense, there are certain verbs that are irregular. So when we change them into the past, there is no ed. Okay, for example, build, the past of build is built, and we have, for example, read, and the past of read is read, so there is no ed. But if I give you such a kind of irregular verbs in the examination, and I ask you about the morphemic symbol, you have to keep in your mind the morphemic symbol is used as a title, and under this title there is there are regular and irregular verbs. Okay? So the total number of the inflectional affixes is 9, and these are considered as the last addition in the word. So they close off the word, they end the word. There is no other addition after the inflectional affixes. Okay? And one of the most important points concerning these kinds of affixes, they do not change the part of a speech. They do not change the part of a speech. So when we add an inflectional affix to a noun, it remains a noun. When we add an inflectional affix to a verb, it remains a verb. It do not, or it doesn't change the part of a speech. Okay, who can tell me about the characteristics of these kinds of affixes? Yes, yes, voila. Number one.
They don't change the part of the word. For example, colder and self.
Very good. So they do not change
They come last in the word. For example, shortcut.
They come last in the word.
For example, shortcut.
And
they can use an L of word. For example, the drink and the ride and the place.
yes.
And they don't be like
Bail up.
They do not pile up. They do not pile up at the end of the word. Yes.
For example, written.
Very good. Yes, Balsam. Yes, what else?
They go with all steps of keeping part of a speech.
Yes.
Example, he is.
Okay, so the most important point concerning inflectional affixes is that they do not change the part of a speech. While today, when we're going to explain a derivational affix or derivational suffixes, by the way, inflectional affixes, in general, they are used in the end of the word. So they are considered as suffixes, okay? And here we have derivational affixes. Here it is affixes. What is a derivational affix? Okay? Derivational affixes. Okay. A derivational affix is the addition that creates a new word. A derivational affix. A derivational affix means الإضافة الاشتقاقية. الإضافة الاشتقاقية. An inflectional affix الإضافة التصريفية. So there is a difference between inflection and derivation. A derivational affix is the addition. هي الإضافة that creates التي تخلق a new word. تخلق لنا كلمة جديدة. So for example, we can derive a verb from a noun. We can derive a noun from a verb. We can derive an adjective from a verb. So this is the idea. We create a new word by the addition of this derivation. I mean the derivational affix. That is to say, it is usually applies to words. يعني هي عادة يتم تطبيقها على الكلمات of one syntactic category. هنا كلمة syntactic ما فيها من syntax. syntax اللي هي الدراسة التركيبية للجمل. يعني the study of the structures of sentences. فهنا عندنا بالsyntax عندنا categories. عندنا أقسام. For example, the sentence consists of subject plus verb plus object, or noun phrase, verb phrase, and the adjectival phrase, adverbial phrase, you see? So the sentence is consisting of constituents, okay? So here, the syntactic category, it may be a noun, it may be a verb, it may be an adverb, it depends. So, this derivational affix can be applied to words of one syntactic category and change them into words of what? Of another syntactic category, okay? For example, slow, it is an adjective. Slow, it is what? It is an adjective. So by adding ly, we change it into adverb, slowly. You see, slowly is an adverb, while slow is an adjective. So I may give you certain words, or I may put the words in sentences and underline them and ask you to tell me, are these, what is the kind of the syntactic category of these words? You have to identify, is this word an adjective or adverb or a noun? You have to make your choice, you see? Here we have another example. We have color. Color, and the color is a noun. Color is a noun, and colorful colorful is an adjective. By the way, color is written in two ways. We have American English and we have a British English. You see? So it can be written like this or like this. Okay? L-O-U-R or C-O-L-O-R. This is American English and this is a British English. Okay? Characteristics of derivational affixes. طبعا هي derivational عادة suffixes تكون إضافات نهائية، بس احنا بدنا نستخدم كلمة affixes يعني نتكلم على الإضافات بشكل عام، يعني الإضافات الاشتقاقية هي كلها تكون يعني suffixes بنهاية الكلمة. واضح؟ فأول نقطة عندنا the first point concerning characteristics of these kinds of affixes. A derivational affix is an arbitrary matter. هو يعتبر شنو؟ arbitrary اعتباطي، يعني مسألة اعتباطية. A derivational affix is an arbitrary matter. يعني هو مسألة اعتباطية. Why it is an arbitrary matter? ليش هو مسألة اعتباطية? Because, for example, there is no other suffix that can change the verb adorn into a noun adornment except the suffix mat. يعني هنا نعطيكم مثال واحد حتى أوضح لكم الفكرة. هنا عندنا الفعل adorn معناتها يزين أو يجمل. واضح؟ لما أجي أريد أحول الأدون أريد أحوله إلى اسم. يعني هنا adorn فعل verb. When I want to change it into a noun إلى اسم أحوله إلى اسم، ما عندي أي إضافة ممكن أضيفها إلى هذه الكلمة ما عدا المات اللي هي تعتبر شنو؟ تعتبر derivational suffix إضافة نهائية تصريفية، عفوا اشتقاقية، إضافة نهائية اشتقاقية. ليش نسميها اشتقاقية؟ لأن اشتقينا من هذا الفعل اشتقينا اسم. واضح؟ اشتقينا من الفعل اسم. وهذه المسألة يعني language is يعني is something flexible. اللغة بها مرونة. يعني you can derive a verb from whatever noun you have. من أي اسم even in Arabic باللغة العربية من أي اسم نقدر نشتق فعل. مو صحيح؟ ومن أي فعل نقدر نحوله إلى اسم. بمجرد ما احنا نخليه يعني certain نطبق عليه characteristics of derivational affixes. أول نقطة هي a derivational affix الإضافة الاشتقاقية is an arbitrary matter. إذا قلت لكم why it is an arbitrary matter ليش هي مسألة اعتباطية تقولوا لي it is an arbitrary matter because for example the verb adorn cannot be changed into a noun adornment except by the addition of this suffixal derivational suffix. You see? suffixal معناها النهائية. Okay? من دون إضافة المنت اللي هي هذه الإضافة الاشتقاقية ما ممكن أنه نحول الأدون into adornment. Number 2 الخاصية الثانية أو السمة الثانية اللي تخص الإضافات الاشتقاقية in many cases في كثير من الحالات but not all ما نعمم ماكو تعميم باللغة. ليش؟ Because for every rule لكل قاعدة there are certain irregularities أكو استثناءات exceptions you can say. Okay? So in many cases في كثير من الحالات but not all ولكن ليس في جميعها derivational affix الإضافة الاشتقاقية derivational affix change the part of a speech تغير لنا الجزء الكلامي. قلنا احنا الأجزاء الكلامية عددها شقد؟ we have 9 parts of a speech. عندنا 9 أجزاء كلامية الناونز وما ينوب عنها البروناونز وعندنا الفيربز وأنواعها كلها تعتبر تدخل بالفيرب فريز وعندنا الادجكتيفز الادفيربز البريبوزيشنز الكونجنكشنز الانترجكشنز مو صحيح؟ الارتكلز الى اخره. هذول كلهن نسميهن اجزاء الخطاب اللي نستخدمهم وين؟ نستخدمهم we use them in the sentence. فإن many cases في كثير من الحالات but not all a derivational affix changes the part of a speech of the word. تغير لنا الجزء الكلامي للكلمة to which it is added اللي احنا نضيفها إلها. For example, we have act. Act is a noun. Act is a noun. So when we add the derivational suffix IVE to act, and we change it into active, it's going to be an adjective. And when we add the ATE to the adjective active, it's going to be activate. Activate is a verb. You see? The third characteristic of this kind of affixes, they do not close off the word. They do not close off the word. معناتها ما يقفلون الكلمة. يعني when you add a derivational suffix, you can add another derivational suffix after the addition that you added. You see? يعني فقط inflectional suffixes end up the word or close up the word. فقط الإضافات التصريفية تقفل لنا الكلمة، ما ممكن أن نضيف بعدها. أما الإضافات الاشتقاقية لا، هنا هسه عندنا الأكت هي نون، ضفنا لها IVE صارت أكتف، إضافة اشتقاقية يعني derivational suffix، رجعنا ضفنا لها ATE حولناها إلى verb، تلاحظون؟ إذا they do not close off the word، يعني IVE ما قفلت للكلمة. واضح؟ they do not close off the word. بس هنا الأكتيفيت إذا هنا سبقها فاعل مثلا هي وبالمضارع البسيط راح احتاج الى الانفلكشنال افكس اللي هي الاس اوف ذا ثيرد بيرسون، راح اقول هي اكتيفيتس، خليت اس الشخص الثالث. هنا معناته شنو؟ اي كلوز اوف ذا وورد، قفلت الكلمه، بعد ما ممكن بعد الاضافه التصريفيه ان نضيف اضافه اخرى. So they do not close off the word, that is after a derivational affix one can sometimes add another derivational affix and can frequently add what on an inflectional affix. وبشكل دوري أو بالتكرار الواحد ممكن يضيف بعد derivational affix يضيف inflectional affix. يعني inflectional affix تيجي دائما في نهاية الكلمة ونضيفها بعد derivational affix. For example, fertilize معناتها شنو؟ fertilize معناتها خصب. fertilizer معناتها مخصب أو مخصب بالإي آر. و fertilizers حولناها إلى الجمع ضفنا لها S of plural. واضحة يا شباب؟ So there are three characteristics. Put it in your mind. A derivational suffix or affix is an arbitrary letter, and it changes the part of the speech, and they do not close off the word. I wanted to memorize these three characteristics and compare them with the characteristics of the inflectional affixes. Students. Now, if you have a glance at the dictionary, يعني إذا glance معناته فد نظرة, if you have a look at the dictionary, you're going to find that there are or there is such a kind of relationship between the words. فد علاقة بين الكلمات. يعني some of the words are closely related and others are not, or the relationship is not too close. It is a distant, or there is a distance in this relationship. So the word paradigm is used to show the families of words. استخدموا كلمة نموذج. And there are two kinds of paradigms. There is an inflectional paradigm and there is a derivational paradigm. هذا البارادايم النموذج استخدم حتى يشوفنا القرابة أو العلاقة بين هاي العوائل اللي ممكن تكون close يعني قريبة or distant بعيدة. يعني مو من نفس العائلة، أكو شوية بعد بيناتهم. فالديريفيشنال بارادايم يعني what is a derivational paradigm؟ ما هو النموذج الاشتقاقي؟ ايش راح تكتب لي؟ قل لي a derivational paradigm النموذج الاشتقاقي is a set of related words. هو مجموعة. Set is a set of what? Of related words. مجموعة من الكلمات المتعلقة composed of مشكلة composed of the same base morpheme. تشكلت من نفس المورفيم اللي يعتبر البيس الأساس. Okay? Composed of the same base morpheme and all the derivational suffixes وكل الإضافات الاشتقاقية that can go with this base وكل الإضافات الاشتقاقية اللي ممكن أنه نستخدمها ويا هذا البيس. For example, we have the word man. عندنا كلمة man يعني شنو؟ يعني رجل. هي تعتبر بيس مورفيم. مورفيم يعني أساس، مورفيم جذر. عفوا مو جذر يعني قاعدة. واضح؟ A base morpheme. So we have manly, we have mannish, we have manful, we have manhood, mannequin, unman, manliness, and mannishness. Don't you feel that all of these words are from the same family? ما تشعرون أن كل هاي الكلمات من نفس العائلة؟ ويا عائلة نسميها derivational paradigm. استخدمت كلمة paradigm لهذا الغرض، يعني النموذج الاشتقاقي اللي يشوفنا كلمة مان كيف ممكن أن نشتق منها عدة كلمات. أحيانا يعني these words are having the same meaning، أحيانا الكلمات بها نفس المعنى اللي هو بإشارة إلى المعنى. Okay? Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you found this lecture beneficial for you. Thank you so much.